As you know that Google launched Google VEO 3.1, which is a great video generation model, and you can generate videos from text and also from images. And in this video, I'll show that how you can use this exact AI model inside n8n through these two different scenarios. So let's go with the first scenario. So the first scenario is all about to use this AI model through a form. So what I have to do is all I have to open the form like this, and here you can see this is the input form, and here I have to give the text prompt the first. I just go with this prompt, and here I have to give the aspect ratio. I just go with 60:9 to get a landscape video. Then I just go with generate. As you can see, the video generation has been started, and soon we'll actually get the video in here. And also you can see there's kind of like animation, it's saying generating. So this is the generated video. So all I have to do is I have to click the video link to open the video. So let's go and just see the video.
Is OpenAI Agent Builder more powerful than n8n?
I believe both platforms are very cool for different reasons.
That was really cool. So now let's go in the next scenario. And for that, what I have to do is I have to just go here, and as you can see, this is the next scenario. And for the next scenario, what I did, I actually used a Google Sheet instead of using a Google form. So in this place, the user only have to give the prompt. So I just kind of like give the prompt like this, and then here I have to choose the ratio, and in this case I just go with 9:16 for a portrait video. And in the place of approve, I have to just select that generate. And when I select generate, based on that, in the place of schedule time trigger, like which time I just kind of like give, in that time the scenario will be started and generate the video. So in this case, I just go with manually start this thing, and then just go with like execute the workflow, and it will kind of like generate the video. And after generating the video, it will send the video in the place of generated video, everything automatically. I don't have to do anything in here. So let's see like is it generated video or not. So as you can see that it's actually generated the video in front of you, and also it's kind of like saying that like execution has been completed. So let's go, and just to show you the generated video, I just go with the link. Okay,
you guys have to fight against Rakin, cause for his prompting I am here in this deep forest trying to survive.
that was really cool and very high quality, right? So I think Google VEO 3.1 is really cool, and in future it will work very well. So let's kind of like show you everything how I made this AI system. And also if you need these two different scenarios, you can make these two different scenarios. If you think like the Google Sheet scenario is better, then make the Google Sheet scenario. If you think the form scenario is better, then go with the form scenario. I'll show you the both scenarios, so no worries. And if you need this template of these two scenarios, you can get this inside the Hello AI community. The link is given in the description. All I have to do is you have to join in the community, and you'll get access to all the assets of this community. So if go in the classroom section, you can actually see all of the videos I uploaded, and all the assets are here. If you just talk about the workflows templates, if you talk about the the things, the prompts, the prompt template, everything in here. And for today's video, for the video you are just watching, you can actually just go in the 16 number lesson. If you just open that, you can actually get all of the stuffs in here. So what you have to do, in the place of resources, you can actually get the Google Sheet. So if I kind of like show the Google Sheet, which is exactly this one, you can actually get this Google Sheet, and you can download that and actually use that with the n8n. And also in the place of download the workflow, if you click that, you can actually get the template. So all you have to do, just download the template, and then you have to actually go to n8n, just kind of like open a new workflow, then just go with these three dots, and then just go with import from file. And after that, just choose the workflow that you downloaded from the Hello AI community. Then just go with open, and then all of the things will be in front of you. So just you have to set up a little bit, and you are just ready to go. And if you want to just do everything from the beginning, and you think like you can do that, so then just watch the rest of the video. Okay, so I kind of like show everything, no worries. So let's go and start it. So let me describe you the first node. And as you know that we kind of like use that through a form node. So this is the form node in here. And as you can see that we kind of like used on from submission. If you just kind of like go here and the plus and search for the exact node, you can actually find that. So let me kind of like show you how you set up that. So you can see that there's a simple title I just added. It really doesn't matter. And then in the place of form elements, I added two elements. What you have to do is you have to just go here, add form element, click that, and new form element will be added. And like this, you have to do this thing for 2 times. The first element you have to, or the first field, you can say, you have to set up this in this way. So you can actually rename like a text prompt, and you have to just go in the element type, just choose text area, and kind of like make sure just go with like record field, and you can see that we kind of like given this exact prompt, and based on that the video was just generated, and you saw that, right? And in the place of second element, or in the place of second field name, we kind of like go with the aspect ratio, and as you saw that we kind of like choose the aspect ratio from 3 aspect ratio to 16:9, right? So in the place of element type, you have to just go with like drop down, and here you have to add 3 options. The first option you can actually kind of like give 9:16, second 6:9, then the last will be 1:1, and this all the ratio is available for the model we are using, which is like Google VEO 3.1. okay, so again, just make sure just go with record field so that you don't forget to give these 2 inputs. And as you saw that we kind of like getting these 2 things, and right now we have to send these 2 important things to an AI model, in this case which is Google VEO 3.1, right? And the most important thing is like how we're using the Google VEO 3.1 and how we added that inside n8n, right? So what I did in here, I kind of like used a HTTP request node. If you kind of like click here and just search for HTTP request, okay, you can actually get that node in here. And how I set up that, let me show you. If I kind of like double click that, okay, so all you have to do is you have to just go in the method and just go with the post method, and here in the place of URL you have to actually give a URL which actually means that the platform actually using that, and in this case I'm using the platform named as VEO AI. So this is the exact platform in here, you can see that. And if I say you about 2 sentences about the VEO AI, it's about a API platform. You can actually get access to multiple AI models through this AI platform, and also you can actually use that AI models from the playground of the VEO AI directly, okay? And in this case, as you saw that we're actually using Google VEO 3.1 first, and the model type will be text to video, okay? If you just kind of like go in the search button, and you can search this exact AI model. And if you're a community member, you can actually get this AI model link inside the community. You can see that that's the AI model link in here, okay? If you click that, you'll just directly come in this AI model. And then what you have to do is you have to actually give this exact URL, okay? And there's an easy way how you can actually go and just give all the stuffs. If you just came in the place of API platform, or just you can say about API, then just go with like HTTP curl, okay? And then if you just kind of like drag down a little bit, you can see a submit request option in here. You can see that that's how you can actually add this thing, okay? In the place of URL, you can see I actually use this exact URL. And then you have to just go in the authentication, then just go like general credential type, okay? And then just go with like header auth, and then in the place of header auth you have to actually add the VEO AI. How you can do that, just go with like create new credential, and then in the place of name you have to just write something authorization, okay? And then in the place of value you have to just go with expression, then just write something key, okay, and give a space, and after that you have to give the API key from VEO AI. And to get the API key from VEO AI, all you have to do is you have to just go with your profile, and then just go with your account, and then it's just something like will just pop up in front of you. Just go with your keys, okay? You can see something like API keys, open that, just go with like add key, a new API key will be created, something like, and then you have to just copy that API key and then just paste the API key in here. Very simple, okay? And then before just going in the save, you have to just name something like VEO AI, so that you can remember that that's the VEO AI, and in future we'll use that for multiple times in this project also, okay? And also in future, if you not just use that, you can actually use that directly. You have to add the API key multiple times, and in this case I'm not saving because I already added, that's why, okay? And then you have to just go in the send headers, and then just go with like using fields below. In the place of name you have to just go with like content type, and value will be application JSON, and then just go with like send body, and in the place of body content type JSON, specify body using JSON. And here is the code you have to actually use, and you can see that we're kind of like using this kind of code. And again, I kind of like use that code from the example that I just get that from the exact API documentation. If I just kind of like go down, I can show that how I actually got the example. As you can see that that's the prompt you have to actually give, and that's the aspect ratio. If you want to just use a duration thing, you can actually add that, but also the duration actually depends on the the video prompt, like how much length the video prompt will be, that much time it will take. And if you want to just kind of like use a default time period, then you actually kind of like give this thing in here, kind of like duration. I deleted that. Okay, and then you have to just kind of like go with the autofix true and all of the stuff. So you can see that, and in here they kind of like use the resolution 720 pixel, and I want to just get kind of like 1080 pixel, the maximum resolution. So that's why I kind of like given this thing. Okay, that's the thing. And if you don't need audio, you can actually kind of like generate the audio and just name that as false, so that like no audio will be created. Okay, in this case I need the audio. Okay, and that's why I kind of like go with the true. That's all the things. And as you can see in the right side, like it will kind of like give a request to fail AI, and when you kind of like give a request to fail AI, if everything is okay, it will say the status in queue, and also it will kind of like give a request ID, response URL, and like bunch of things. So we have to just wait a little bit in here, and what I did, I kind of like add a wait node in here. What if you do, just go here plus, and again just search for wait, and you can actually add a wait node. And in the place of wait node, I kind of like added a 1 minute. You can see that, and it will just wait for 1 minute, and then it will just go in the next of the nodes, or just next the procedures. And here what I did, again just used a HTTP request, and through that request I kind of like checking that is the video generation is done or not. So after 1 minute, what I have to do is I have to go with the method get, and in the place of URL I'm actually just going with the status URL. All I have to do is just drag down in here and authentication, and as I said you that I just the save the fail AI for a reason, so that I can actually use that in future. So that's the reason in here. You can see that authentication, use the generate credential type, generate auth type, header auth, and from the header auth again I have to just recall the fail AI, just clicking this thing. In this case I don't have to just add the API key again. And what's gonna happen, using this exact status URL, it will kind of like go to fail AI and just kind of look this thing, is it done or not. So if it's done, it will kind of like say that completed, and if it's not done, it will say that like in progress or something like this. And in this case, if it's done, so it have to just go in the next procedures, but before that I have to check that is it like done or not, right? So that's why I kind of like use a if condition. What I have to do, just go in the plus again and just search for a if condition node, and this is the if condition. What I did in here, I can like show you that I just kind of like given the status thing in here, and I say that if the status is equal to completed, then I have to go in the true branch, and if it's not completed, then I have to go with the false branch. And I just did is I just added the false branch in the input of the wait node again, so that like I can actually wait for again 1 minute if the video generation is not done. So it's kind of like a looping system, you can understand that. Okay, so in this case in 1 minute the video generation has been done, so it will have to just go in the next process, and through this HTTP node I kind of like getting the video. So what I did, I kind of like go in the method get, and in the place of URL you saw that like previous time we kind of like going with the status URL, but this time we have to go with the response URL. And again I have to recall the fail AI again, just the previous ways, authentication, and then just go with the header auth fail AI. So you can see that's the generated video, and as I showed you the generated video, right? And after that, like instead of just scamming here and checking the generated video, okay, what I did, I kind of like open an another form which will open up after the process has been done with the generated video. So as you saw that, like what's gonna happen in here, it's saying that redirecting to this URL, and if I click this URL I can actually show I can actually see the video. Okay, so for that what you have to do is you have to just kind of like add another form, and that will be a n form node. So if I kind of like search for n form, something like this, okay, just kind of like go here form, and then just go with like n8n form, and you have to just go with like form ending. Okay, and this is the actually I'm using in here, and as you can see that in the place of on n8n form submission, you have to just kind of like go with redirect to URL, and then just kind of like a URL option just pop up in front of you, and in the place you have to actually give the URL that you're actually getting from the get video clip or the HTTP request you're actually using to pull up the video from the fail AI. So what you have to do is you have to kind of like give the schema inside here, and that's it, and it will kind of like automatically pop up in front of you. You're gonna kind of like go with from inactive to active. So what's gonna happen, like all the things you are just doing, you have to cam here in the place of execute overflow. You have to do everything in here. You can actually do this thing even from your mobile phone or just somewhere else. You don't have to cam in this n8n place again. So for that you have to just kind of like go with the production URL, make sure just copy the production URL, and you can actually kind of like open this thing anywhere like this. Okay, and just kind of like go with the steps, go generate, and a video will be generated, then just cam up in front of you. Okay, that's what I'm kind of like trying to say. That's really cool. Okay, so now let's go in the next process, and which is kind of like the next scenario, which is using that thing through a Google Sheet. So different people have, you know, kind of like different choices, so that's why I added a different scenario in here. So what I did, I kind of like added the same system in here. So this is actually the same system in here. I just copied that and pasted that in here, but they're like a different, just you can say very small changes I did in the place of input and also in the place of output. Let me show you that what I did. So at the first, edit a schedule trigger in here. What you have to do, just go ahead plus and just look for schedule trigger. So you're gonna kind of like find a schedule trigger, and through the schedule trigger, what you can do is you can actually add a different time. For example, like we just kind of like go with minutes, and if I kind of like look for 5, what's gonna happen, like every 5 minutes this system will be kind of like started to work, or just kind of like go with hours, every 5 hours this system will start to work. So what's the system I'm talking about? So in the place of a Google Sheet, you have kind of like give the prompts, right? So for example, like if I kind of like give this prompt again in here, and then if I kind of like choose a ratio, and this time just go with like 60:9, okay, then just go with approve, generate, and what's gonna happen, like after 5 hours from now, this AI system will start to work, and this will kind of like give a generated video in here like this. So for example, like if you want to generate like 500 videos at one time, so what if you do, you have to kind of like give 500 prompts like this, and every time you have to kind of like give the ratio, like which the ratio you want for which video, okay, and then every time you have to just kind of like give the approve, generate. So if you don't give the approbation, like the generate, it will not work. So every time you have to kind of like go with the approve, generate. So like after 5 hours, after 1 minute, what the time you actually give in the place of schedule trigger, it will actually kind of like give you the 500 videos in here. So that's the automation thing, you know. If you want to just do the thing automated, that's time you have to kind of like use this exact system. So let me kind of like show you how I did that. Okay, so the place I just saw that, like I kind of like use a schedule trigger. So the schedule will be triggered, then it will kind of like knock this Google Sheet, or just you can say the get row sheet. What I did, I kind of like go in the plus and just search for Google Sheet. Okay, so that's the talking about Google Sheet, and if you kind of like click that, then you have to go in the get rows in the sheet, and it's actually behind my video, so you kind of like go with this option, get rows in the sheet, and then it kind of like show you this kind of stuff. So what you have to do at the first, you have to kind of like go with the create new credential to add the Google Sheet with n8n. If you never did before, just go with the create new credential and then just go with sign in Google. That's very easy. Your Google Sheet will be added to your n8n, okay, or just you can say that Google account will be added to n8n. And then in the place of resources, you have to kind of like go with like sheet with document. These things will be automatically in here, no worries. Operation, make sure again that it is get rows or not, okay. And in the place of document, what you have to do is you have to kind of like select the Google Sheet that you created for this work. In this case, you can see that that's the exact Google Sheet I created in here. And again, if you need the Google Sheet, you can find this inside the Hello AI community, which is this one. If you click that, you can download that Google Sheet and you can actually use that for your own case, okay. Let me kind of like go here again, and this one, the thing I'm just talking about. So here I kind of like selected the same document. In the place of sheet, I just go with the sheet one, because that's the sheet only one in here, so that's why. And then I have to just kind of like add 2 filters, which is very important. So the first filter is the generated video column have to be empty. So you can see that generated video column have to be empty. Why I added that, okay. So you know, you can understand that like this prompt actually worked, and after the whole process, it's kind of like giving me the generated video, right? So if the generated video is not empty, for example, like this case, it's mean the prompt has not been worked yet. So next time it will work with this prompt, and it will not work with this prompt, because the generated video is not empty, it's containing the video URL. And that's how I'm escaping the double generation for a single prompt, okay. Also I have to just kind of like go with the and the filter, and in this case I just go with the approve have to be generate, okay. As you can see, it's a generate, and if I just kind of like don't select generate, it will not work with this exact prompt, okay. So that's what kind of like added the filter or the rules, you can say. And make sure that the combined filters have to be and then it kind of like give you the prompt. And then I kind of like added the prompt in the place of video clip process, and in this case, as you can see, I use the same process as like this you know, kind of like as like this process, okay. The whole system, the video generation process is exactly the same. As I said, I just copied and pasted that thing. But here's in the place of you know, the code, what I did in the place of prompt, okay, I actually kind of like giving the prompt schema like this, and then in the place of aspect ratio, I'm actually giving the aspect ratio schema that I'm actually getting from the Google Sheet, which is actually this one, okay. That's what I'm kind of like doing. And in the right side, you can see that how it's really looking like to actually give the request to val AI as we're actually using in here. And by using the same way, we're getting the result, which is in the place of get video clip. As you can see, that's the exact URL. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to send the URL in the place of Google Sheet, in the place of the column generated video, right? So for that, what I did, kind of like go in the plus and just search for Google Sheets. And after just kind of like open the Google Sheet, you have to kind of like go with the append or update run sheet, and you have to set up that exactly in this way. So at the first, you don't have to add the Google Sheet with the n8n because you already added at the first time, so that's why. And then in the place of document, you have to just kind of like select the same document. You actually kind of like using that to actually give the inputs. And then you have to kind of like go in the mapping column mode, and in this place you have to go with map each column manually instead of going with map automatically. Okay, and then column to match on, you can actually go with the prompt, okay, from all of the columns. And then in the place of prompt, you have to kind of like give the same thing that you should kind of like use that. So what I have to do, I just kind of like go in the get rows in the sheet, and in this place I kind of like give the prompt in here. Okay, and based on that prompt, it will kind of like identify that why it have to update the, you know, the video URL in this case. Okay, and then in the place of generated video, give the generated video URL from place of get video clip or the HTTP request. And that's how we kind of like updating this thing. You can see this generated video has been updated to our Google Sheet, and that's how we kind of like doing this thing through this two process. And I hope like you understand everything. And if you're new in this channel, make sure to give a like and subscribe this channel. And if you think that like whatever the costing, how much it will cost you to generate one video or something like this, so here it's kind of like a rough calculation I just did that. And you can see that for every second of video you generated, it will cost you $0.1, or which is like kind of like 10 cents if you actually turn off the audio. And if you turn on the audio, it will cost you 15 cents for videos. Okay, and for example, like a 5-second video with the audio, it will cost you 75 cents. It's kind of like you know, very high if you calculate that, or just if you compare that with other AI models. But I think the video resolutions and the video quality is super high, so that's why kind of like they put it that. And also it's new, that's why. And obviously you can't do this thing for fun, right? So it's a little bit just costly if you're not rich. Okay, if you're rich, then go with that. But if you want to just make kind of like professional videos for like your business purposes, if you want to just make a ad, or you have an advertising agency and you want to use this exact AI system for your ads agency or social media marketing agency, or just for your business, whatever it is, so obviously it is worth it, right? So that's the thing, you know. And again, just give a like if this video really helped you, and let me know like with the thing you didn't understand that, like in the comment box. I'll really just do my best to actually give you the answer. And if you really want to join in a community to learn AI, to get more help on AI, kind of this thing, you want to just implement AI in your business, or just want to start a business with AI, then join the Hello AI community. I had given the link in the description. Okay, so it will be really worth it to join. Inside you can actually kind of like get me, and also the other you know, the members who actually join in this community. And also you have any question, you can actually kind of like question me with using the chat box, and I'll obviously help you, you know, like my and the members I do with them. Okay, that's it guys. Have a nice day. Peace.